So, this is something that I've put off talking about for a very long time, almost since the beginning of my YouTube channel. But that was a mistake. Something like this shouldn't be put off or ignored or minimized or pushed to the side or anything like that. Because this isn't a joke to me. I take accusations like this very seriously. People say all sorts of things in my comments, sometimes jokingly and sometimes seriously, but I don't really mind any of that. It's all just words on the internet at the end of the day. But this is not one of those things, because to accuse someone the way that some people have been accusing me is not something you do lightly. And, so I'm not about to sit here and let my name kind of be slandered, I guess. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, right? Well, like I said, for the longest time, there have been serious allegations that I, the homie Damian, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, am a contrarian. Yo, motherfuckers always want to come on here and talk about, oh, there go Damian being contrarian again. He just hates on this thing to be contrarian. Oh, he likes this show everyone hates. Must be him being contrarian again. Damian, how could you have this opinion about that thing? You're just trying to be different. You're just doing it to be contrarian. People are saying that I, the person who has built their whole channel off the mantra of your opinions are subjective and nobody gives a fuck about them, am somehow putting out controversial opinions as if people give a fuck about what a nobody like me has to say. Me, someone who has the most bland, basic taste, is somehow trying too hard to be different. I don't know. Two of my favorite movies are The Exorcist and The Godfather, like the most textbook, oh, I watch real film type of movies. But now let's think about the definition of a contrarian, right? At its core, it's very simple, very literal, someone who takes a contrary position or attitude. So in that sense, yeah, I've said some contrarian things. We all have. I have a series on this channel where all I do is talk about hot takes, which, a lot of them are contrarian opinions, unpopular opinions that would go against what the majority of people would believe. But the way I think the word contrarian is being used in this situation is going against popular opinion just for the sake of being different or without any, I guess, merit or justification. Basically just going against the norm just to do it. This is something I constantly say is a corny thing to do. Remember when I made that video about how no one really cares about your opinions and not everybody needs to be a critic? Why would I then go and start saying shit just for the sake of saying it? To what? Make people think I'm unique or something? I guess that's what people believe. Obviously, unless I'm doing it jokingly, because I do be doing it to be funny sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, any jokes aside, it has been giving me quite the giggle that this is a label that's been put onto me recently. Not even recently. So I decided to make this video looking back at some of my most controversial opinions and talking about them, like a yearbook reflection on graduation day. Do y'all remember when I put up this community poll a while back? I guess that's a good starting point, yeah. So it says, what is the worst take I've ever had on video? And the highest voted response was defending Rent-A-Girlfriend. I've already made a video about this, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. But first off, I don't even think it's as contrarian of a take as you might think. Obviously a large percentage of anime fans vehemently dislike the show. Even fans of the manga hate it, but it still is an incredibly popular series with a massive fan base that rakes in boatloads of cash for that fucker Reiji Miyajima, what the fuck, I forgot his name. Reiji Miyajima, that fucker Reiji Miyajima. So technically, is it really going against popular opinion that much? I know that's getting pedantic, but we're just messing around here. I think defending Rent-A-Girlfriend is definitely a take of mine that has gotten the most fervent and hateful response, but I don't think it's the most contrarian thing I've ever said. I would actually say that me saying Golden Win is the worst JoJo part was a much more contrarian take. But again, that's something I genuinely believe. It's not just something I said just to say it. You can go back and watch that drunk binge again. I was very clearly saying all the things I didn't like. Y'all know me, I don't hide that kind of thing. I'm not gonna pretend to like something if I didn't like it. But yeah, if my read on the JoJo fandom is correct, Golden Wind is like one of the most beloved JoJo parts, and I think that the general anime community likes it well enough too. Maybe it's not as well loved as like part 4 or even, part 3, but which is also more proof that the contrarian allegations are fraudulent. Part 4 is one of the highest rated JoJo parts on my anime list, and that's my favorite JoJo part. So I mean, hey, it was good. Like, I don't know what to say. I really dislike Golden Wind, and actually I've grown to dislike it more as time went on. And it's not because of my disastrous experience with the JoJo fandom that I'm sure you're all aware of if you watch this channel. I just think it's such a mess of an anime with so many baffling writing decisions that I'm sure makes sense to the fans. You know, they love showing how Araki was never wrong about those kind of things, which is fine. I'm sure that's all true, but that still doesn't mean it's satisfying for each and every viewer. Namely me. I'm not satisfied. The other ones on this list weren't too crazy. I feel like most people agreed with me on the Chainsaw Man anime being a bad adaptation take, but I will repeat, because this always comes up, this does not mean I dislike the Chainsaw Man anime itself. I just think it's a poor adaptation of the manga. You know, season 2 and the movie are like some of my most anticipated releases of all time, so don't get it twisted. I always gotta clarify that. Ranbu no Melody is a 3 out of 5. That might get me cooked now, because there are more, you know, there's a significant amount of Bleach fans on my channel now. But I don't think that's really anything to talk about either. It's not like I gave it a 1 out of 5 or anything. I still thought it was cool. Let's talk about probably one of the most controversial things I've said, you know, that probably started this whole contrarian label. But I want to bring it up because it's a perfect example of why I always say that anime fans are the lowest IQ fan base on the planet, because the concept of being contrarian in the definition that we're using here in this video doesn't even make sense to apply in this situation. What I'm talking about is the fact that I've said Naruto is my least favorite anime of all time. Now again, by the dictionary definition of being contrarian, sure, Naruto is one of the most popular, iconic, and influential anime of all time, so to say I don't like it would literally be going against, you know, the popular opinion. But if you are really honestly thinking that I am saying that Naruto is my least favorite anime ever as some weird strategy to look intellectual or to gain clout on my sub 100k YouTube channel that no one even watches, you're insane. I'm sorry. I haven't even used that as like a clickbait title or thumbnail yet, when you know for sure that would work. Why do people think it's contrarian for people to say that they like something or dislike things, you know, or any opinion? Well, imagine doing this for literally anything else. Hey, what's your least favorite food? Oh, I don't like pizza that much. What a contrarian take. Don't you know that pizza is one of the most popular foods on the planet? Maybe that motherfucker just don't like pizza. You can't force yourself to like or dislike something. It just happens. You don't have any control over it. I don't like Naruto, that's it. You can give me a 500-page dissertation on all the hidden meaning that I'm missing, or why all these weird writing decisions actually make perfect sense. That's not gonna change how I feel. If you don't believe me, think of your least favorite anime. Now, can you choose to like it? Not like permanently, just choose to like your least favorite anime for 5 minutes and then switch back. You can't do that, right? You can pretend to, or you can tell yourself that you do, but you can't choose how you feel about something. Sure, our opinions on things can change over time. You know, I'm sure everybody has experienced that, but that's not something we can do just like that. In a similar vein, I once made a video of my top 50 anime of all time, and people were in the comments talking about how I was trying too hard to be different. How the fuck does that even work? Again, imagine saying that for literally anything else. Right now, go ask your old ass grandma what her favorite song is. She'll say something like, oh, I like Jailhouse Rock by that Elvis fellow. Are you gonna be like, oh, stop trying to be different, grandma. Don't you know that Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly is universally considered to be one of the greatest musical albums ever? You didn't even choose Michael Jackson's Thriller. Are you just being a contrarian for views? Also, if you go back and watch it, my list of favorite anime were like the most basic picks on the planet. I had Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on there, which is like one of the most highly regarded anime of all time. Monogatari and ReZero are on there, very critically acclaimed shows. It's not like those are niche picks. Evangelion, literally one of the most iconic anime of all time. Dragon Ball was on there. Like, what are we talking about, bro? It's contrarian to like Dragon Ball now? And I promise you, it feels like anime is the only medium where this is the case, where people think everyone has to have the exact favorite shows as them. And I know people are gonna be in the comments talking about, well, you know, movie fans are like that, video game fans are like that, sports fans are like that. I really don't think that they're like that to the extent that anime fans are. You go ask 100 random people what their favorite movie is, and you're gonna get a variety of different answers, and mostly people are gonna be cool with what other people say. But you go ask 100 anime fans the same thing, and you're gonna get the same pool of like 5 different shows. And everybody is gonna be on everybody else's ass if they're not exactly the same in the exact same order. But if you've watched this channel, you just know that I have no problem saying what I really think about things, and I never do it in like an overly hater way, unless I'm trying to be funny, but I usually give pretty sound reasoning as to why I think the way I do. Except for disliking Naruto, I haven't really gone in depth on why I think that, but like I said, that doesn't matter. You're allowed to just not like things. It's not like I'm out there actively crusading against the show. I just watched Naruto with my little nephew the other week, and it was fine. I wasn't sitting there grumbling like, oh, why are we watching this trash ass? It's not that deep, bro. It's a TV show. If my 11-year-old nephew wants to watch it with me because it's a fun thing to do and he wants to bond, of course I'm gonna watch it with him. And I'm gonna have fun doing it too. But yeah, for most other things besides that, I feel like I present my argument pretty well. I'm not the most articulate person on the planet, you know. Other YouTubers out there are way better at that sort of thing. But to this day, I mean, not to blow my own horn, no one in the comments has ever given a convincing argument against, you know, like the Chainsaw Man take, or the Bleach style over substance take, or the defending Rent-A-Girlfriend take. You can go check out the comment sections on those videos. I'm glad people are participating and showing their own opinions, you know. I love when you guys do that, but most of the counter arguments there are, you know, either misunderstandings of the points that I'm trying to make, or they just avoid them altogether and argue against some straw man that I never even said. So again, I'm not saying that these takes of mine are 100% correct, you know, they're just subjective opinions of mine. But I mean, no one's given a good argument against them. But yeah, that's all. Just a fun video about something that was on my mind recently. Oh, and quick side note, my GOAT ProZD had a way more obscure list of favorite anime, and everyone was riding his dick. He is significantly more likable than me though, so I guess that's fair. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it now. I am never going to give a controversial take on anything ever again, ever. I'm about to start a One Piece series on this channel soon, and I'm gonna put up a poll for every important event that happens in the anime. I want all of you to tell me exactly how you want me to react to it and exactly what opinions I should have, and whatever gets the most votes is what I'm gonna say in the video. You know, that way none of y'all can ever put these allegations on me ever again.